I don't want anyone to watch this video and think that you can eat anything remotely close to this and actually be healthy. It is not true. This was a horrendous diet, one of the worst diets I have ever seen. Coach Greg in today's video, the video you've all been waiting for. Sam Sulek's full day of eating, and this video posted on Fouad Abiad's podcast is literally number 4 on the trending list. That is a big deal. And remember, this is a very smart and intelligent kid. But in watching this video, you have to be thinking, how could such an intelligent human being eat such a horrendously awful diet? He has the same diet as me, milk, cinnamon toast crunch, donuts, LOL. Coach Greg is going to go crazy over this video. Coach Greg is going to have a field day with this one, crying, laughing face, and I can tell you this, I've already watched it, and the field day starts right now.
It's already 10:30. We've been awake since 8. Haven't had anything to eat. I'm starving.
And he starts meal 1 at 10:30. Remember, he's been up since 8, and so technically he's been intermittent fasting. Normally you want to wake up and at least eat some protein. That's your first opportunity for muscle protein synthesis to occur.
Some people aren't concerned with their catabolism, I see.
And so he's concerned with his catabolism, and they're making a joke as if they're going to go catabolic by not eating. Remember, this guy is eating so many calories right up till before bedtime that even if he gets up and doesn't eat, he's still going to be building muscle. Calories in, calories out. Guy's eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and he's clearly in a surplus, weighing in close to 250 pounds, and so he's not going to lose muscle. And so what is his first meal? 2 liters of chocolate milk. Whole milk at that. Loaded in fat. Not healthy fat, but very high in saturated fats coming from animal sources. Much better if he could choose healthy fats, perhaps some omega-3 fatty acids. And what goes along with chocolate milk? A shit ton of sugar.
1,000 calories in the milk jug, that's 64 grams of fat, 240 grams of carbs, 70 grams of protein.
And so the first thing you need to understand is that I'm better at math than almost everyone. Sorry, gonna brag about it, taught high school math. He said in this jug there's 1,000 calories. 240 grams of carbs times 4 is 960 calories. 64 grams of fat times 9, 576 calories. 70 grams of protein, 240 calories. You add this all up, it's over 1,800 calories. Remember, that's in meal 1 consumed at 10:30, which is 2.5 hours after he wakes up. I mean, is this guy a baby? Why is he drinking 2 liters of chocolate milk for breakfast? There's so much saturated fat, so much sugar, and yeah, it's high in protein, but are we really going to consume over 1,800 calories in meal 1 from simply drinking chocolate milk?
Usually I like, I don't know, maybe if I'm trying to gain weight, I want to be really full. I'd say at least like 300-400 carbs before I'd want to lift.
And so what that means is rather than waking up and eating first thing in the morning, perhaps fasted, he prefers to have a couple of meals in so that he can feel more full. To me, that is very intelligent. The more carbs you consume, the more glycogen you're going to have, the more full you're going to feel in the gym. And if you're asking me the best time to train, for most people, it's going to be after you've had a few meals. When you first wake up, the average person is in fact dehydrated. Think of it. You've been sleeping for 8 hours, not eating or drinking anything, and so when you first wake up, your body is literally dehydrated. Your glycogen stores are not maxed out, and so if you go out and try to perform at your optimal in the gym, you're probably not going to be able to do it.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch and milk will be perfect.
So 400 grams before training.
Post.
So let's do the math.
And so Fouad is about to do the math. I don't believe Fouad is highly educated in math. Remember, I'm telling you my opinion, but let's see how he makes out.
So 33 grams of carbs in 1 serving. That's 1 cup. So we need 33 divided by 400.
And so what you really do is you take 400, you type it in the calculator, and divide it by 33, and that is going to be how many servings you need in order to get 400 grams of carbs. And so I typed it in. The answer is just over 12 servings. And so if he had not already consumed the chocolate milk, he would need to have 12 cups of the cinnamon toast crunch in order to get 400 grams of carbs. But one thing they haven't discussed is that if you eat fat and or protein, you're not going to need need to consume as many carbs as if you don't. Imagine if he only had carbs, if he was on a low-fat diet. The more fat and protein you eat, the more energy you're going to have, and the more the carbs can be used to form glycogen. If you're only consuming carbs, some of those carbs are going to be burned off as energy, and you're therefore going to have less carbs available to form glycogen. And so because Sam Sulek's already had 64 grams of fat, the fact that he's already had protein and carbs in the chocolate milk clearly indicates he doesn't need to eat a lot in meal 2. He's already had a lot, over 1,800 calories. I mean, how much food do we need to eat before going to the gym to actually have a good workout?
Well, there's already 240 done.
Oh, so you got, no, that's, oh, so you're saying 400 calories.
No, I'm saying carbs, but in this there is 240.
And so Fouad just realized this. He's not talking about 400 calories, he's talking about 400 grams of carbs. He's already had 240 grams of carbs in the chocolate milk, which shocked him, but is it really that shocking? It's 8 servings of chocolate milk. And so Sam Sulek, he states he had a quart, but it's actually a half gallon. That's a lot more. It's in fact double. That is way too much chocolate milk. I'm all for drinking some chocolate milk, but do we really need to have 8 servings of it for breakfast? To me, that is a lot. Perhaps let's lower the sugar content. Do we really need that much sugar in our diets? Have 1 liter of chocolate milk and have something else that's perhaps a little healthy. Has he ever heard of a fruit and or a vegetable? About micronutrients, minerals, things that the body needs to eat to be healthy. And I'm looking at the skin of the guy that looks like Carrot Top and I'm thinking, this does not look like healthy skin to me. And yes, I get it. He's probably on test, trend, and so on, probably at higher doses, which is causing this acne develop to have his skin that doesn't look that healthy. But perhaps it's also from his diet.
So you had 240 there, so you need another 150 here is what you're trying to get?
Yeah, but I'm not really like that specific about it.
And so he still needs 160 grams of carbs divided by 33 grams of carbs per cup. So that's about 5 cups of the cereal in order to get the carbs that he needs.
Most of these, they say to measure it out by the cup.
Yeah, you should be exact with that.
That's just such a hassle to me.
And so Sam Sulek makes a great point. Why are we going by cups? Cups can be inaccurate. What if it's a heaping cup? What if the cup is settled? And so it's much more accurate to go by grams. And so if you're given the choice between cups and or grams, always use grams. Grams, 100% accurate. When they base the calories on a product, they're basing it on how many grams it is, not by how many cups. When they write cups on the back of a package, they're guessing, that's right, guessing how many cups it takes to equal the grams indicated. And quite often it is incorrect. Food labels are literally allowed to lie by up to 20%. And so you may in fact have 20% more or 20% fewer calories if you're going by cups rather than grams. My advice, weigh it in grams.
Yeah, perfect. Sit here for like 20 minutes, scroll on TikTok, and this will just disappear.
I mean, I'm all for having Cinnamon Toast Crunch, one of my all-time favorite cereals, in milk. Absolutely delicious and amazing. That's an excellent treat. Not something I would eat very often, as clearly it's not that healthy. But you don't let it sit for 20 minutes and get soggy.
I'm saving you guys. If I drink whole milk, I'd be shitting my pants the whole workout.
And so if you can't consume lactose, just consume the lactose-free milk. It's 2023. This is very easy to get. When I was Sam Sulek's age, you couldn't get lactose-free milk at the grocery store. Very difficult. But today's day and age, you got everything available. Way easier. And so I'm not against drinking milk, but I don't suggest you eat liters and liters of chocolate milk every single day.
Let's see how good my workout is after eating cereal. I've never had cereal before a workout.
He's probably trained close to 10,000 times, and the guy's never had cereal before he goes to the gym. Ever. I mean, to me, that is shocking. I've had cereal or cereal and milk before the gym hundreds of times. I like it a lot, but don't suggest you do this all the time. Cinnamon Toast Crunch and all those kinds of cereals is just laden in sugar. It's not healthy. This is not good for you.
You measured wrong. You use milliliters.
Well, it's the same thing.
Is it?
A milliliter of water is a gram.
And so Sam is educating Fouad. He's in his 40s, and this is the first he's ever heard that 1 liter of water is 1 kilogram. That's literally how the scale was invented. 1 ml is 1 gram. 1 liter is 1 kilogram. There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. But one thing I want to point out is that does not apply to everything. And so, for example, if something's lighter and less dense than water, for example, cereal, and you weigh it out, and you weigh out 1 kilogram, the amount of cereal might be a lot bigger. Consider popcorn. If you put a liter of popcorn on a scale, it's not going to weigh a kilogram. While we're at it, let's learn some more today. There's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Kilo stands for 1,000. Did you all know that? There are 12 inches in a foot, 100 centimeters in a meter. I remember learning this back in grade 6, 7, and 8. This is what we teach people in school so that when we grow up, we can calculate how many calories are in the cereal and the milk that we're drinking. And so if Fuad were to get my freaking cookbook, he could have learned this. We have all the unit measurements, the comparisons, the grams, the cups, and so on. And so when you're making the recipes, I made it easier than last time. I said, this is how many cups you can put, and also this is how many grams you can put. And so depending on the country you're in, some people go more by cups, some more by grams. I've included everything. The calories in the foods, measurement units, made it easier than last time. Remember, I was a school teacher. I understand not everyone gets this as easy as everyone else. Made it very easy so that everyone could understand. And so Fuad, if you want to get Cookbook 3.0, please reach out to me. Love to send it to you. You can open the book, learn about grams, cups, and so on. You'll be a much better chef. You're in your 40s. Trust me, it's never too late to start being a better chef than last time.
Any lifter worth their salt should know to go to the bathroom pre-legs. Right. Like I've come close once I thought something was coming out.
And so imagine this kid is so young, he's only come close once to shatting himself. How many times do you think I've shat my pants in the gym and elsewhere? A lot more than 1, a lot more than 10. And so listen, if you continue to eat like this, you're only 21, your digestion's only going to get worse. Please be careful. And so perhaps he has to listen to Chris Bumstead. You might get away with it now, but years later, you're going to be more unhealthy than last time. Listen to Chris's advice.
As always, I'm trying to eat clean foods because digestion is the number one thing that helps a bodybuilder long term that they don't like to agree does.
And so digestion, the number one thing that helps with a bodybuilder long term, but they don't agree with it. Case in point, Sam Sulek. He's eating chocolate milk, whole milk with cinnamon toast crunch, eating donuts, burgers, fries, you name it, crap kind of foods. Why would he do that? He probably just thinks calories in, calories out, and what you eat, whether it's healthy or not, doesn't make any difference. And in terms of gaining weight, yes. But what about the quality? What about your health? You don't take any fruit and vegetables. You just think you can take one multivitamin a day and it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. You got to have fiber in your diet. You got to have the micro and macronutrients. And so please change up your diet. You're 21. This is not the type of diet that a 21-year-old aspiring bodybuilder should be following.
I think the lightest I was around like Christmas time, it's like 229, 228, and then now like 240. I would bounce around like 247, 249.
And so unlike Coach Greg, who would say to Sam Sulek, just a main gain somewhere at a healthy body fat percentage for you, perhaps it's 12, perhaps 15%. Sam Sulek prefers to bulk up a little bit and cut back down a little bit. Personally, I don't think is the best case scenario. And on his cut, he says he cuts down to 2,500 calories versus his bulk well over 5,000 calories. Why not have it somewhere in the middle? Perhaps consistently eat around 4,000 calories. How could that not work? Could he possibly be gaining as much muscle eating only 2,500 calories a day as 5,000? I don't think so. And so in the times when he's on a bulk, clearly he's going to put on more muscle, but then he's going to have to go on a cut and perhaps lose some of that muscle. Why not just eat what you need to eat year round? He hasn't yet stepped on stage. There's no reason to be going on this dramatic cut. And for him, eating 2,500 calories a day, a guy that does year-round cardio, trains harder than last time, over 6 feet tall, close to 250 pounds, I do believe that is a very strict diet. I'm not for it. And perhaps, yeah, it's working now, but is it optimal? Is it ideal? Have we looked at his acne, his skin complexion? We now see his diet horrible, not healthy. Why not consume a healthy, balanced diet and have the appropriate amount of calories to allow your body to grow slowly over time?
Do you do cardio at all?
I've been trying to do it like pretty much every day. Just 30 minutes on the seated bike.
And Sam Sulek, I'm happy to see, he's promoting year-round cardio. He does 30 minutes a day. He believes that everyone should be doing cardio, whether you're cutting and or bulking. It's healthy. And so I wrote the post multiple times. It's good to see Sam is promoting cardio even while bulking. And so I'm trying to write a positive comment, but no, Fuad Abiyad, he has me blocked. I'm not going to let Coach Greg write any comments because that guy makes sense. And Fuad understands I know this way better than he does. His argument, Coach Greg, he's a 212 bodybuilder, not even 200 pounds. I'm a monster. And so I know way more than him. What is he, 5'6"? How can he know anything? I'm Fuad. I'm so much bigger. And so he blocks my comments. Imagine this guy.
I posted a community post asking how many people are doing their cardio consistently, but it was 30% said they did, and 70% said they just didn't.
70%, only 30% did. And so over half of the audience that watches Sam not doing cardio as often as they should. To me, that is discouraging. And so my suggestion, as well as the health experts of the world, 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio every single week.
Like hour and a half would be like me leaving towards the gym. Like anything less than that, this would definitely be messing with me.
And his pre-workout, he consumes at least 30 minutes before the gym. I'm the same way. I like it to kick in fully. I don't get to the gym and then dry scoop it and go to the gym. I want, once I'm in the gym, to have it hit 100%. And so for me, 30 to 40 minutes before I begin lifting weights or getting on the bike, that is my sweet spot. Interested in hardcore pre-workout, any of my pre-works, any of my supplements, code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description.
Eating is not the hard part. It's eating foods that will allow you to train properly.
Fuad makes a great point. Eating is not the hard part. Eating the foods that allow you to have the best workout is the hard part. Case in point, Sam Sulek is eating well over 5,000 calories of almost all complete and absolute junk, garbage nonsense. And you just heard Chris Bumstead say, what is most underrated is your digestion. You need to eat healthy foods. You should be consuming foods from all 4 food groups. You should be having your fruits, your vegetables, your carbs, your healthy fats, your proteins, and so on. I don't believe this is a great representation of the sport. I don't think people should think they need to eat like this. This is number 4 on trending, millions of people looking up to Sam Sulek, and I don't want these people to copy this diet. They're thinking calories in, calories out. As long as I'm eating a surplus, all the junk, the bulk, I could also put on more muscle. This is not the way. I can promise you, you should not eat like this, especially if you want to live a long and healthy life. This is not the diet you should be following. Sam Sulek is only 21 years of age. He's literally right now getting away with it. Same as if you avoid cardio. Coach Greg says do cardio. I don't do any cardio. Yeah, you're 21 years old. You're getting away with not doing cardio. But talk to me when you're 41, 51, and 71. I know you can't imagine you're ever going to be 71 years of age, but trust me, what you're doing now in your 20s, 30s, 40s, it's going to affect you when you get older. And so please, healthier than last time. Be proactive with your health. Don't think you can just eat crap all day long, abuse steroids, and not have it endanger your health in the future. Right now, maybe you get away with it. But how long is it going to last?
What are some differences that you can say that, like...
Honestly, it's exactly the same. The only reason there would be any caution in his training is I suffered a lot of injuries because of the way I trained, I think.
So if you're training recklessly, not thinking about what you're doing, please consider that long-term, it's not going to work. It's working right now. Of course it is. You're young. But eventually, you're not going to recover from all these. You're going to have long-term injuries. You're not going to be able to keep training. So my advice, go and watch some Chris Bumstead videos. The guy is highly educated. He's been doing this for years. 4-time Mr. Olympia champion. He talks about digestion, food, proper training, using good form. And so I highly recommend you all go and check out Chris Bumstead.
So I retired like 5 years ago. We were at the grocery store. He's like, it's 11 o'clock. I've been up for 3 hours. I haven't had a meal yet. I don't think that way anymore.
And so I've been retired for 4 years, and the first thing I think of when I wake up is, what am I going to eat? And so just because you're retired or not retired doesn't mean you can't eat a proper, balanced, and healthy diet. I want to get up and eat. Most people who wake up and aren't hungry are eating too much before bed. And if you're trying to optimize your diet to build the most amount of muscle possible, there are 5 opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur. The first one being in the morning. When you first wake up, you should eat some protein. If you don't, you're simply put, you're not going to build as much muscle. Yeah, you can fast for most of the day, and you're going to be lean, healthy, and so on. But if you're trying to optimize muscle growth, that means to put on the most muscle humanly possible, you don't want to be skipping meals.
Sam, you always train with about 50 grams of carbs intra?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to gain weight, I mean, that's 200 calories right there.
And so Sam also likes to drink in an additional 50 grams of carbs while he's doing a workout, and following the workout, another 150 grams of carbs. That's a lot of carbs. Now, we don't know what his supplementation is like, but oftentimes guys like this are using insulin. Insulin requires sugar, and so if he is using insulin, that's most likely the reason why he's consuming so many grams of carbs around his workout. But for the average person not using insulin, perhaps your bulking up, you don't need to consume all of these liquid calories while you're training. And so I would suggest it's actually more beneficial if you're cutting. Consuming 50 grams of carbs in liquid form while working out, especially on a cut, that could in fact make sense. Just think of it. You're on a diet. Your glycogen stores are lower. When would carbs most be beneficial? Probably right before or during your workout. If you're out on the bike, racing, lifting weights for multiple hours, you run low on energy, you're not going to have the same output that you would if you had enough energy. And so if you're dieting and you need to consume 50 grams of carbs to fuel your workout to get a better pump, by all means do so. But if you're bulking, eating 400 grams of carbs before you even get to the gym, along with all that fat and protein, do you really think it's going to make a difference to consume an extra 50 grams of carbs while you're working out? Of course not. Your glycogen stores are already full. What's going to happen is those 50 extra grams of carbs, all you're going to do is be storing extra body fat. When you're on a bulk, you're not just gaining muscle, you're also gaining fat. The more carbs you eat, the more calories you have, the greater the surplus, the more fat you're going to gain. And so you don't need it. That's why you consumed all these calories before you went to the gym.
Would you say you feel like you get an extra pump though when you have the added sugars?
Yeah, I would say that. Just from being full.
And so they're talking about more endurance and feeling better, and they're talking about all this sugar that they're drinking, but yet none of them has talked about GO2 max, the main ingredient NMN shown in double-blind, placebo-controlled human studies to actually work in the real world. And so if Sam Sulek or Fuad were to take GO2 max and go to the gym and consume no extra sugar at all, they would have way more energy than what they're doing. You don't believe me? Try looking up the studies. Try it yourself. Or just take my word for it, or the tens of thousands of people have been using it. You really think this is BS? Watch the Joe Rogan podcast featuring Andrew Huberman and others. Gives them a ton of energy. This stuff's so good it's been banned by Amazon. Why do you think they would ban it? Because the shit actually works. And so if you're interested in GO2 Max, click the link in the description. And don't forget about code Greg, 10% off. And we do have bulk order discounts. You buy a 25 pack, you're getting a serious discount. Buy more GO2 Max than last time and watch your energy skyrocket in the gym.
100 grams worth of cluster dextrin, and then 2 scoops of the milk chocolate ISO. So this is before even the actual post-workout meal.
And so he finishes his workout immediately, 100 grams of carbs, and as well as a couple scoops of protein. Now remember, if you're not actually taking insulin, there is no anabolic window going on here. You don't immediately need to consume calories as soon as you're done the gym. How many calories do you think Sam Sulek actually burned off in that workout? Do you think it's anywhere near close to 400 grams of carbs? Of course not. As long as you're consuming food within perhaps 4 or 5 hours of your last meal, you're good. And so in Sam's case, he's eating about an hour and a half before the workout. Say he trains for an hour and a half, that's 3 hours. There's no need to rush it. But if he is using insulin, he has to follow the proper protocols. And so not criticizing him here, but remember, if you're a natural athlete training, you don't need to go in and shove back another 100 grams of carbs and protein powder immediately after your workout driving home from the gym.
Cheeseburger with mustard, lettuce, ketchup, and actually that'll be it. Mustard, lettuce, ketchup, and a medium fry and a large drink.
And so rather than going home and eating a healthy meal, they then go to Five Guys and have a cheeseburger, fries, and a drink? Really? This is the off-season diet they were trying to promote to the world? And so what you can't do is just copy these guys' diets. Just because they're taller and bigger than you doesn't mean they're smarter, know better about training and diet than you do. Remember, he's getting away with this. And although you can say, oh, it's working, he's bigger than you and so on, how do you know it's optimal? Do you think if Sam Sulek ate like Chris Bumstead, follow his diet and so on, perhaps had his same coach, do you think he would actually get worse? Or do you think he would perhaps do a little bit better?
Still got a little more calories left. Because right now I'm at about 4,700. Pretty much I want to hit at least 52-ish.
And he says he's at 4,700 calories. I do believe he's actually higher than that based on the math that I've been doing. Unless he had a Diet Coke, perhaps the cheeseburger and fries was very small. But let's go with that, 4,700 calories. He says he needs 5,200 calories. There's 200 calories per donut. And so let's see, how many calories is he going to eat?
So that plus 4 cups of milk, that's perfect. I can take my vitamins and go to bed.
And so that's 5,300 calories without counting the donuts. He says he's got to have 4 donuts. That's 800 calories. And so that would actually make it 6,100 calories.
Clearly, I'm not too specific about where I'm sourcing it from, right? Like you haven't seen, chicken and rice all day.
So basically he's on an if it fits your macros diet. As long as you're getting in the carbs and the protein and nothing else matters. Has he consumed any healthy fat? Has he concerned himself with any micronutrients? Where were the fruits and vegetables? Oh, he had a bit of lettuce on his cheeseburger. What is he, Nikocado avocado? This is a horrible diet. He's literally eating like Nikocado. And so perhaps in the future, he'll be as healthy as Nikocado.
Like, for the most part, the calories are calories. That's pretty much always been my approach to it.
That is true when it comes to gaining weight or losing weight, but not when it comes to health. All calories are not created equal, and if you just eat a bunch of shit food, your body is going to be a shit body. You might look amazing, but you won't feel amazing.
I've always kind of been under the idea that taking a multivitamin is at least approaching a level of equivalency to getting a very well-balanced diet.
I sell supplements. I all want you to go out and buy my multivitamin. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and say that if you eat one of these, you can just skip out on fruit and vegetables and you're going to be just as healthy. That is complete and utter BS. I don't want anyone to watch this video and think that you can eat anything remotely close to this and actually be healthy. It is not true. This was a horrendous diet, one of the worst diets I have ever seen, and I don't want anyone to think that they should be copying this.
How many donuts are you eating?
I think 4. I got 4 on mine.
And so he's at 5,300 calories. He's got 4 donuts at 6,100 calories. I'm just telling you the facts here. He's eating 6,100 calories a day in a bulk. Now remember, this was just on this given day. Is this actually how he eats on an average day? Or did he want to have the most horrible diet ever to make the video go viral, knowing that guys like Coach Greg are obviously going to make a video and say, this diet is horrible? I've seen in the past, he's made very controversial videos. You should all ego lift in the gym and so on. And so perhaps he's giving us what we want. The algorithm has clearly picked up on it. Number 4 on trending. And so perhaps the secret is to do everything the opposite of what's healthy, tell everyone the opposite advice of what you should be doing, and that feeds the algo. It's clearly working. And so is Sam Sulek simply playing 4D chess with all of us? Does he actually eat such a shitty diet day after day? Or is he highly intelligent? And so let me know in the comments section, does anyone think that they should follow Sam's diet? Does anyone think that I went too hard on him? Do you understand why I make these videos? He's eating over 6,000 calories here in this diet. Then when he cuts, it's going to be 2,500 calories. He's either eating a shit ton of calories or starving himself. Why can't he be somewhere in the middle? Does anyone think he wouldn't have the same amount of muscle he has right now if he consistently ate somewhere in the low 4,000s for calories? That if he were to follow a diet more like Chris Bumstead, that he would be much healthier than he is right now? How long do you think he can eat like this while abusing performance-enhancing drugs and still keep his health intact? To me, this is a slippery slope. Please do not copy Sam Sulek. Don't tell me that you think that this is smart, that you should do this. It's going to be highly disappointing if I read comments with people thinking that this is a smart move. Don't do it. If you're interested in any of my supplements or in my cookbook, you don't have to just eat cereal and milk and junk food all the time. You can eat healthy meals from my cookbook that are easy to make. Everyone can make it. Even Fuad would know how to make it. The Circle Diet book, my Harder Than Last Time clothing line, all that. Head over to my website. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And until next time, I am out. This is Sam Sulek. He drinks lots of chocolate milk. What do you think about that?